black men being killed by police is somewhat normal in this country. Like, oh, it's happened again. My name is James Austen. I'm 27 years old. I'm a filmmaker from Los Angeles, and formerly I was working as an executive assistant for a film company here in the city. Hearing the news about George Floyd being murdered by the police, that news itself was not what was surprising, because unfortunately those kind of events, black men being killed by police, is somewhat normal in this country. Like, oh, it's happened again. But the thing that was surprising was seeing the response around the country, and that people were going out into the streets and protesting in a bigger way than we had ever seen before. I didn't want to relive the trauma of these similar kind of events in new forms. So right away I didn't go out and protest, because I still also hadn't really made up my mind yet about sort of the events and how I was feeling about them. But then also just the caution around not wanting to also be involved in spreading the coronavirus. There was a friend of mine, her birthday was coming up, and we were sort of talking about if we wanted to do something for her birthday, and then she expressed to like me and some, and a couple other friends of ours that she wanted to protest for her birthday.
Hello.
Hello. So why did you feel like you wanted to go out and protest for your birthday?
Being Chinese American, we are also considered people of color in this country. We are considered minorities. And especially with COVID, we've seen a lot of racism towards Chinese people or, any kind of Asian. I've been sitting at home, reading about the protest, watching it every night on TV. Everyone was talking about and all the issues. It was so moving, and it was like I felt so angry and so powerless that there was just no way that we could continue sitting at home and just watching it on TV when it was happening like right outside of our windows.
I definitely grew my respect, I think, for her, that she wanted to do something, sort of higher than herself. So we all met up at City Hall and added our bodies to the crowd. And there is some people who were giving speeches on the steps of City Hall. We're coming together to demonstrate in a respectable, peaceful way. And then at one point, everybody started to march. There was a sort of a biker group that had sort of joined in with the protesters and were riding alongside of us. The bikers with their machines, vocalizing this anger, this upset, this unity that they wanted to express of we are all here together protesting the same thing, because it's so loud and it's so powerful. It's like there's no way you wouldn't be moved by it. Earlier this year, when I was working as an executive assistant, I was helping research on a television series that was about the Black Panther organization, which was founded by Huey Newton, like 1967. Seeing what was happening with George Floyd and what was being called for, sort of upsetting in a way, was that 1967, the Black Panthers were founded because of the violence that was inflicted on black people in their community by the police. And that's exactly what they were protesting and demonstrating for, and that was 53 years ago.
So many of the same type of incidents and things that I saw growing up are still continuing. How can I protect my child from the world if I don't tell my child about the dangers and the vulnerabilities that they have being darker skinned in the world? How can I protect them? I can't tell them, oh, the policeman is your friend. I wish I could. I have to tell, this is a speech that almost all Black parents have to have with their children. When you are approached by a police officer, no sudden moves, no this, hands on the wheel, which a lot of white parents don't have with their children.
Over at Silver Lake, they decorated the fence with the names of countless Black Americans that had been killed by the police, and you could just drive along there and just see name after name after name after name. I mean, I can't even go off and list half of the people that were, because the list is unfortunately very long. There was a friend of mine, we were sort of talking when the protests were happening and kind of both feeling that sort of helplessness of like, what do you do in the face of something so large? But we don't have to tackle the big picture. We can tackle the people around us. It's like, let's talk to our friends, let's talk to our family, let's get involved in a very local way and see what we can change just in our neighborhood. Can we share ideas and influence one another and be more accepting of the people in our own lives first before we try and do something in a big, big way? You know, that's what I hope to do with my own filmmaking, and kind of turn them into places of conversation.